use does that have on a farm? A grappling hook?
I shall tell you, my friend.
Oh, okay. Please do. Please do.
So basically, we were friends because we were sort of thrust together by our dads because they were both in the same round table club, right? Mm-hmm. Round table was a bit like the Rotary sort of thing, Blokes club. And so one day we were going on a clay pigeon shoot with round table, and a few of the blokes were like, oh, can I bring my sons along and daughters just to like, you know, bring them on a day out, we'll shoot a few guns, have a bacon cob, cup of tea, job's good, right? And I basically just spent time with one of my dad's mates' sons, and I became best mates with him, right? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm a farmer, I live on a big farm. So that day, after getting on like a house on fire, I went back to his farmhouse, and he was showing me all this cool stuff, like all these guns and air rifles and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, what is that? He's like, oh, it's a grappling hook. It's like, I think his dad welded it or something. So it's like this, you know, this big sort of umbrella style iron hook with a big rope on the end. And he's like, yeah, I climb up stuff with it. And I was like, sweet. That's what we're going to do now. That is what we are doing this afternoon. We are going to climb up stuff with it. So he's like, well, where do you want to go? I said, well, I don't know. This is where you live. And he's like, well, there's a farm next door. Like, we can go and sort of essentially trespass in this farm. There's like these big barns, you know, just everything. It's like a working farm. And we went in there, must have been about 11 years old or something, and we thought we were Mission Impossible, right? We went in there, and there were these massive, like, I don't know how many feet, like 40-foot high hay bales, maybe 30-foot, something.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, that's what we're climbing up. And you know how dense they are when they've been packed, these hay bales, and there's like the orange wire going around them and stuff. So we were like having a good go, swinging this stuff up, like swung the grappling hook up there. We climbed up, and it worked, man. It was so good because it dug into the densely packed hay, and we would climb up the side of this massive hay bale, right, having a great time. And then all of a sudden we heard like someone returning, basically, like a Land Rover pulling into the sort of the big drive. You know what these farms are like. And we thought, oh, for God's sake, like we're going to get caught, like we're trespassing. And all of a sudden we were like nervous. So we like slid down. I think I slid down the grappling hook, and he was still on the top, right? Yeah. And he was just like, hide, or whatever. So I got down the bottom, and I sort of like scuttled around this. I think it was a tractor or an unused car, a vehicle of something, and just like hid behind it basically. And while he like pulled this grappling hook, pulled the rope up right up to the top, and then sure enough, like somebody came in and they were like, hello, who's there, sort of thing. And my heart was going like Billy-o, like. And then I was thinking, you know, classic towny kid. I was like, oh my God, he might have a gun, he might have a shotgun, you know, trespassing on the, you know, his land and all this sort of thing. But I must have stayed still enough because he wandered off, whatever. And then my mate like slid down the rope or whatever and pulled it back down again. And we just sort of like ran off. But we were doing all the sort of like military, you know, codes and like moves, or what we thought were like military moves. We were just two idiot kids running about, but just so much fun. So I guess that's where you get over your creepy crawly fear.
Hell yeah,
just
man.
Trespassing on people's land, I guess.
What an experience for a kid, man. That's amazing. That's so cool. That's like something from a film.
Yeah, it felt like it, for sure.
I bet.
Yeah, that was good fun. We used to get up to loads of good stuff. Yeah, that's the only time I've ridden a motorbike actually. This was on his land this time, but we'd just rag it over these fields. But they were like they'd been ploughed, so they were like this, you know, up and down.
Yeah,
we just crazy, and that's another little mini tales where I got. Where I knew what to do with like wounded animals, because we were sort of like running about, and there was this pigeon that had been attacked by something. Like it was on its way out basically, and we like sort of picked it up, ran back to the house, and his dad came out, and we were like, what do we do with this thing? And he says, oh, gives it here. He gets I think he got like a spade or just anything that was lying out. So he held the bird in his left hand and just twatted it with the spade in his right hand, and his head just fell off basically. And he just chucked it in the bin, like slammed the wheelie bin lid down, just like, you know, like rubbed his hands together, brushed his hands off, and walked off. And we're like, oh, okay, that's what you do with animals that are on the way out. That's the humane way to deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, don't muck about with it, because we were like, oh, you know, do we need to take it to the vet, RSPCA, bandages, whatever? And he was like, no. This is done. you know,
Yeah,
out. That's the best thing to do.
definitely. That's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, for sure, man.
As a brutal a lesson as that is, that's a good one to learn for sure.
Yeah. Life on a farm, I guess.
Yeah, man. Blimey.
Shall we kick things up a notch with the booze?
Let's do it. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So,
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of this and put it on Instagram, right? Because this is a new decanter I got for the house. Got a new crystal decanter. It was gifted to us by the Mrs. family, but it's absolutely beautiful, right? I know nobody can see it now, but you might see it on Instagram. But look at this bad boy, right? Cut crystal. It's absolutely beautiful. So much better than my other one. And in it is, oh God, that's the only problem. Once you pour a bottle of Scotch in there, you then, like if it's not something that you know exactly what it is, I got a bottle from my dad for Christmas. Is it called Tamnavulin? Have you heard of that? Tamnavulin.
Yeah, Tamnavulin, that's one.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool.
That's the one. I couldn't quite remember what it's called. But yeah, so that's what's in this decanter at the moment. So I shall pour a little dram right now. I've had a little bit before. It's very it's not peated at all. It's very sort of sweet, caramelly, sherry style. Quite an easygoing one. Beautiful colour. Again, sort of like last week. I hope it's not dyed. I don't think it is, but it's just got a naturally quite rich thing. Maybe that comes from the sherry cask, right?
Yeah, sure. Of any of the sort of the two main casks, like American oak with bourbon and sherry, the most colour you'll get is from a sherry cask for sure.
Yeah, and it's just it's like toffee, caramel, cream, vanilla, all those sort of flavours. It's a beauty. It's quite big bodied, even though it's not heavy and strong, but the body's quite big. I know that's sort of silly whiskey talk, but you know what I mean, perhaps, that it's
definitely,
quite a hearty flavour, you know?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. That's great. I don't actually know where that is, that distillery is. Obviously, probably Speyside, but it could be maybe a Highlands or a Lowland one. But yeah, cool. I need to check it out. I don't think I've ever had a Tamnavulin, actually.
It is a sherry cask, and it is Speyside.
Speyside, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
how
about you?
So today I am on. I was gifted a little Talisker tasting box set for Christmas.
Oh,
so
nice.
Today I thought I'd start with their signature 10-year-old. And Talisker, for me, I've only had Talisker a few times. I've never had a full bottle of it, but was always this sort of really good middle of the road between peated and non-peated whiskey. It's not too much, but there is a decent amount there that you can definitely get stuck into.
Yeah,
but on the nose, it's got this amazing like salty. It's not a huge amount of peat on the nose, actually. Not much smoke, but there's a lot of like salty, briny notes with that sort of malty malt barley like sort of smell as well. And it's similar to Old Pulteney, if you remember that one. I know you had that not that long ago.
Yeah, of course.
That sort of salty taste and smell that you get from it.
Love it.
And then on the taste, that's when the peat comes in. But it's not punching you in the face like the Lefroy did for me last week. It's more like if you go into a room that's had a fire in it going.
Yeah.
So maybe the morning after you've just had a big fire going in a living room or something for the whole day, and you go in that next morning and the smell of the room, that's the taste that I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Beautiful.
And the briny notes coming through as well. It's really nice, very very nicely balanced, and yeah, just beautiful. Like I say, I don't think I've actually had the 10-year-old Talisker before, but it's very nice. Almost 46%, so it's pretty strong alcohol, and a good colour as well. But yeah, very well recommended. I would imagine it's quite expensive, but yeah, definitely well recommended.
I actually think that's the only Talisker I've had. I might be wrong. One might have slipped through the net, but I think the 10-year-old is that's the classic that I've had a few times before. And yeah, you're completely right. Highly recommended.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
great. Yeah, I think that the big one, other than this, is the Sky version and the Storm version. I think.
Yes. No,
There's two
you've got me.
different ones.
I've had Sky.
Okay, cool.
I've had Sky. Yeah.
So they're the two most popular ones, and then the 10 I think is the more expensive of the three.
Right.
And I'm sure they've got other versions, but they're the three big ones. So yeah, look out for it. The 10-year-old I can vouch for. I've got Sky and Storm. They will be on subsequent episodes.
Nice.
Stay tuned.
I want to talk about something funny that you do.
Okay.
And that is you've got the biggest wallet and keys in the world.
How? Well, I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult or what that is. But,
it's just a funny.
is that your
thing.
wallet, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah. Oh, mate, because I think this was like, God, when would this have been? I think it was when when we saw each other sort of between lockdowns, like last year, whatever month that was, when it was between lockdowns. And my missus said, God, Greg's wallet is enormous. What has he got in there? And I said, wouldn't you like to know? So here's the question. It's a new segment. What's in Greg's wallet?
Okay. This week, Adam, I have okay, let's talk this through. So the keys, let's just restart with the keys before we hit the wallet. I have cut down on the keys so everyone can know. I used to have keys to schools that I taught in. That was the big thing.
Jesus.
Yes. So I had a couple of keys I had to lock up after I left because I was teaching after hours. So that's not an excuse though, because I also had like 4 or 5 keys of houses that I hadn't lived in for years. So,
what old uni houses and that?
Old uni houses, exactly. Yeah. Just to have. It's almost like a trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, you never know.
I conquered that house.
Yeah. You know what? That's just made me think.
What?
I didn't change the locks when I moved in here.
Oh God!
There could be people walking around with people like you with massive janitor key rings with a key to my house on it.
Now I did have a key ninja. So to be fair, do you remember my key ninja? Did I show you my key ninja?
Is that the sort of multi-tool thing that had like all the desert scenario stuff in it? And if you get lost in the jungle.
Oh yeah, that's the survival kit I had on my keys. So, so that was like a mixture of like paracord and like fishing line and hooks and like a blanket, a flare, 9mm revolver, whatever. So yeah, no, that was on there as well, which was it was ridiculous. I'm ashamed of it. I've recently cut it down though. I've got I'll tell you what's on my keyring. You tell me whether this is overstating it. Front door key, back door key, car key.
Yep, fine.
A bottle opener.
Yep, fine.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Boom. That's all I've got now. I'm a minimalist.
Nice.
When it comes to keys. Now let's go to the wallet situation. I am not like you because you don't have a change insert in your wallet, do you?
No.
You're just a change in the pocket guy.
For. I just coins straight into the pocket.
Just jangling around everywhere you go.
Yep, absolutely fine. Fast and loose, baby.
I can't deal with that or abide that, so I shan't be doing that. And there's a level of cash flow through. Sometimes I have in my wallet. I'll not say anymore. But so there's sometimes a lot of change that I need to be holding. So. Yeah, I'm glad I have that. The main culprit, though, is the receipts throughout the year.
Right, okay.
For the business expenses. I am terrible with noting that stuff down. So the receipts will pile up for like months at a time sometimes before I go through them and lodge them. So that's when you see my wallet really like bursting at the seams. It's not money, it's receipts.
It's money that you've spent. Yeah
exactly.
Nice. Oh mate, you need to get one of those apps that you can just take a picture of it. I've got one, like at Receipt Bank. You just take a picture and just chuck that bit of paper away. That's the dream. That reminds me of a couple of things. One is my